Your worth has absolutely nothing to do with your weight or your size or what your pants say or what your t-shirt says, because that is just fabric. Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, and happy fall. It is officially fall, so as you can see, I've got my pumpkins and my pumpkin candle out, so I am super excited. I absolutely love fall. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about some of the pros and cons for surgery. I'm gonna make this kind of quick, talk kind of fast, but if you guys have any other comments, please leave them down below. If you would subscribe, that way whenever I come out with a new video, you guys can watch it. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna start with the cons so that we can end on a good note. So the first con I would say is that the surgery can't be reversed. I personally don't regret my surgery. I don't think that I would ever want to get it reversed, but I do want to put that in there in case anybody thought it could be reversed. My dietitian did tell me though, your stomach will stretch out a little bit after the surgery, but basically a normal human stomach can hold about 40 ounces is what I've been told, and then after they cut out about 80% of your stomach, it can only hold about 8 ounces, and it will stretch back out, but it will only stretch back out to fit about 12 ounces. It'll never get back to the point that you were before, which for me, I kind of consider that a good thing, but there are a lot of people that do consider that a con. Also, your stomach can't absorb nutrients and vitamins as well as it could before. So there are certain things that you have to do. You know, you can't drink 30 minutes before and you can't drink 30 minutes after a meal. And that does have to do with your stomach trying to absorb as much nutrients and goodness as it can. It's nothing that really hinders me too much. I take a lot of multivitamins every day just to help that, to make sure that I'm not low or deficient on any nutrients that I need. So another big con that a lot of people consider a con is hair loss. And hair loss doesn't just come with surgery, it actually comes with extreme weight loss. If you're not getting enough protein, things like that, you can lose hair. So it's not just from the surgery, but it is a con. I've had where like chunks of hair will literally fall out. With the hair loss, it does grow back, and I have heard that it grows back actually like 2 times as thick as before, so that can actually be on the pro side. For me, that's gonna be a con because, like I said, it just gets too much. You guys have seen how big it is. It's too much. This next con kind of goes hand in hand with another one, so I'll go ahead and just put them together. But mental health, and not just mental health, but like my hormones. Yeah, so after losing a ton of weight, my hormones, I feel like, are completely out of whack, and I feel like I've kind of gotten back to the way that I was when I was, you know, 19, 20, just getting off birth control, and my hormones were just going crazy. So trying to deal with that, but also, like I said, the mental part of it, because sometimes I don't know if it's me being crazy or going crazy, or just because I have a hormonal imbalance right now. And once again, that is also just with extreme weight loss. So another con, and a lot of people told me this and I didn't expect it as much as I thought, but I still crave food. I still have a lot of cravings. The craving part doesn't go away. I feel like I've gotten a better control of my eating habits and my cravings, but I do still get them. And like I've said before, the surgery is not a fix-all, it's a tool to help you. It's not gonna get rid of, you know, your taste buds and just make it to where every food in the world is plain. No, you're still gonna enjoy food, you're still gonna love food, but it is different for every single person. Every person that I watched on the internet who has gotten this surgery, they say that nausea at first is a huge side effect. Nausea never affected me, not even on the first day, not when I got up from surgery, but apparently being nauseous in the first couple weeks to couple months is very common. But there are certain foods that just don't sit well in my stomach. For instance, like rice. I can't really eat too much rice because it kind of hurts. Bread. But there are some things that other people that I've seen online, they don't have a hard time processing any of that stuff, but then they have a hard time, you know, eating eggs. And then kind of going on with that, another con is there are a lot of people that do become lactose intolerant after the surgery. Once again, that's something that I didn't deal with, I didn't struggle with. I'm not lactose intolerant, which is great because I love me some cheese. Dehydration is a big thing also, but more just so in the beginning stages of recovery. Dehydration is something that people really often struggle with, but just for me, I had Smart Waters and it helped me a lot. I also had, you know, the little flavoring packets that had electrolytes in it, which did help me quench the thirst and not get dehydrated at all after surgery. Another con I would say is probably my scale obsession. I know some people have a healthy relationship with the scale, but for me, I don't have that great of a relationship with the scale. Another con, once again, for me, it's kind of a pro, but it is a con for a lot of people. When you do have a full-size stomach, you can still eat even after you're full. Like, you'll be eating and like, oh my gosh, I can't eat anymore, and you just keep stuffing yourself. Well, after the surgery, you can't physically do that. Being full is a completely different feeling. It's more of a satisfied feeling than like actually feeling full. If you do after surgery feel full, you actually usually feel sick afterwards because our stomachs don't stretch as much, there's not as much that we can put in there, so when it's full, there's nothing else you can do. I have made myself sick a couple times on accident, either for eating too much or not chewing my food enough times. But those are the cons, and like I said, some of them are kind of pros for me, so you take what you want with the cons. But some of the pros for the surgery, and I mean, there's so many pros for me, obviously, but here's just kind of a list of what I loved about getting the surgery. So obviously it is a tool for weight loss. The surgery is not a fix-all, it's not an end-all fix-all. If you don't do what you're supposed to do, you will gain the weight back, or you won't lose it at all. So if you get the surgery and think, okay, that's the end of it, you're wrong. It's not gonna work, and you're gonna be very, very disappointed. It is a lifestyle change. I had to completely change my lifestyle, but at the same token, I'm not on a diet. I'll eat whatever I want. If I want a taco one day, I'll have a taco. If I want a margarita, I'm gonna get a margarita. But with this weight loss, seeing my weight continue to go down is a motivation for me to keep going. So 90% of the time I do eat healthy. I do eat things that make me feel good and give me energy. I don't want to eat bad things anymore because it just doesn't make me feel good. It makes me tired and lethargic, and I've gained so much energy throughout this entire process that I don't ever want to go back to the way that I was. I'll go out for walks just for the fun of it because I've so much energy that I can just get rid of, and I never thought that that would be something that I would do. The next thing is no more pain. No more pain. If you are on the bigger scale like I was, as you know, just all the extra weight is just so much to carry around. Like I said before, I couldn't do the dishes for more than 10 minutes without my back hurting, and I would have to sit down. A lot of like deep cleaning and stuff, unfortunately, would take me so long to do. Not only that, but when it comes to working out, like when I was about 300 pounds, I would try to run because I remember when I was back in the 8th grade losing weight, I loved running. I loved jogging. There was something about it that just made me feel so great. So I tried doing that when I was 300 pounds, and as you can probably expect, it didn't turn out great. It physically hurt to work out. So now that I have lost so much weight, it doesn't hurt. I can walk around for more than 30 minutes at a time without having to sit down. So it was really hard for me to enjoy things such as being at the mall, being in Nashville, being in Disney World. It was really hard for me to enjoy all that because every second of those experiences I was in pain, and all I could think about was how I was in pain, how I couldn't even breathe because of all the weight and all the health issues that I was probably accumulating over time. There's just so much more now I can do with my body that I couldn't do before. So now I love to celebrate my body. I love to celebrate what my body can do, even if it's just going on walks or going to Zumba class with my friend Haley. What up, Haley? And then another pro for me is I get to do more. So I love, you know, roller coasters and adventure rides and all that great stuff. I love fairs. So much that I can do now that I couldn't do beforehand, and it's all because of the surgery. Like I said before, I've tried 1,000 million different things and nothing worked. This is the only thing that's really worked for me, and is not just working but also keeping me motivated at the same time. I'm also more aware of like what I put in my body and like what my body is going through, what it's doing, and when I say that, like I feel it. I know when I'm hungry versus being thirsty, because I know sometimes your brain can trick you into thinking if you're thirsty that you're hungry, but now I feel like I have more of a control over knowing whether it's I'm actually thirsty versus I'm hungry, I haven't had some food in a while, I need to put some fuel into my body. Another pro to the surgery is it can fix a lot of health issues. So I am very, very, very fortunate that I didn't have any health issues going into the surgery, but as you know, when you get up in weight, there are so many health risks with being obese or morbidly obese. It can lead to diabetes, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, heart disease, so many other things that this surgery can actually help fix. And that kind of leads me into my next pro. Like I talked about in the first video, I do eventually want to have kids with my husband, and it does make it easier to have kids. And I kind of briefly went over this on Instagram and social media, but I've always had a fear of looking at myself, either in the mirror or camera lens or a TV, computer, anything, but mostly it was mirrors. So anytime I would go to the mall or Kohl's or a door that was shiny and I could see myself through, I would purposely look down at the floor or look at my friend, look at my husband, because I didn't want to see myself. I didn't want to see what I looked like. I didn't want to see how bad I had gotten because I was just so embarrassed of myself. I want to get back to being around 180 to about 200 pounds. And the sad part about that is that's where this fear of looking in mirrors actually started. If you go back on my Instagram or my Facebook, you'll see right after senior year I stopped posting pictures of my entire body because I was so ashamed of myself. So with this surgery, I'm able to not only look at myself in the mirror but be proud of what I see. I used to be so embarrassed and so distraught and angry at myself for letting me get to that point. How you feel about yourself is the most important thing. It really is. And I know that you don't feel like this, but if you're watching this video, you are beautiful and you are wonderful and amazing. And I want you to know that your worth has absolutely nothing to do with your weight or your size or what your pants say or what your t-shirt says, because that is just fabric. So it can be a wonderful thing to a lot of people for different reasons. It takes a lot of work, but I know that if you want to, you can do it. But even if surgery is not the way you want to go, I mean, I've lost weight before. It wasn't a very unhealthy way, but I've learned a lot of things to be able to help me fix that for the future. So I don't want this to become just a VSG surgery YouTube channel or videos, because it's not what I'm all about. You know, after the honeymoon phase is over with my surgery, it's going to be back to me having to work just as hard before my surgery. This is a lifelong journey, and you just gotta keep going. Yeah, so if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below, and if you would subscribe. I will be posting videos on here at least once a week, if not more. Until next time, bye!